Guys, if you thought Boruto was already too powerful, I'm sorry to tell you this is just getting started. With this new information that came out about the Rasengan Uzuhiko, it's even more incredible than we thought. Seriously, it's literally from another world. So stay until the end because I'll explain how it works and why no one can beat this. Welcome to the Nerd Ascend. We finally understood better how the Rasengan Uzuhiko works, and it turned out to be even more amazing than we imagined. This is because when Boruto 2 Blue Vortex started, we were all wondering, what new things will Boruto bring? What will he have learned? But when the time skip happened and Boruto literally came in kicking code, we saw the guy come back sinister and confident that the beatdown he was about to give was guaranteed. And well, it was. So much so that he tells Code, "I'm going to be honest with you, killing you is easy. So why, instead of dying in vain, don't you do something good for the world?" We don't know if Boruto learned all of Sasuke's techniques, but at least when it came to the arrogance classes, he didn't skip a single one. And all that arrogance had a reason, because after he activated the Rasengan Uzuhiko, the humiliation got even bigger. And the coolest thing is that a lot of people thought that by becoming the Rasengan, Boruto would attack with the Rasengan's effects, like explosions and spinning. Or maybe he had been inspired by Sasuke's Chidori Nagashi, and did the same with the Rasengan. That way it would be like Hinata and Neji's rotation, which would also be awesome. Like expanding the Rasengan 360 degrees and creating a barrier that hits back. It would be great to see more of that Hyuuga side of Boruto, because Hinata trained him. But the guy showed up with a Rasengan on a planetary level, and the destructive power of the Rasengan was just a detail. That's because, besides the natural damage that the Rasengan causes, those whirlwinds around Boruto had already affected Code, and he got a sinister vertigo. Can you imagine someone hitting you so hard you get lifetime vertigo? Or having a technique that attacks your rhinitis? No villain could handle that. And since not even vertigo could handle Code, he started seeing the world like he was trapped inside a washing machine. And it's fine that the Rasengan is sinister and uses the Earth's rotation to make the enemy see the world spinning. But what the Naruto site recently published is the following. A new form of Rasengan that uses not only one's own chakra, but also the planet's rotation and orbit, in addition to centrifugal forces and other corresponding ones. That is, there are at least 4 different types of forces that are part of the Rasengan Uzuhiko. And there's still, for example, the Earth's orbit, which is so strong that it's what keeps the moon around the planet. It's really cool because even the force equivalent to Earth's gravity, which keeps the moon in our orbit, is part of this technique. And that's just one of the forces, and some of the only characters who could use a force equivalent to the moon's, as if it were nothing, were people like Madara, Naruto, Sasuke, Kaguya, and Toneri, among others. But another important thing that the Naruto site mentioned is that even though Boruto says that Uzuhiko uses the planet's chakra, it doesn't mean it's nature energy like the one Naruto and the Sage Mode people use. It's something else. In the case of Uzuhiko, we can compare it to the water dragon, where ninjas usually use the water that's already in the environment to form it. That's why both Uzuhiko and any jutsu like this aren't jutsus made 100% from chakra. And maybe that's why this Rasengan can't be absorbed by Karma or the Rinnegan, because they can't absorb a jutsu that mostly comes from nature. In other words, in Jigen's case, he could absorb a normal fire jutsu, but he couldn't absorb the fire from Kashinkoji's volcano because it was something that wasn't produced 100% from chakra, which means that whoever tries to absorb Uzuhiko might not be able to. Because instead of using water or fire in the scene, Boruto uses all the forces of the planet, like centrifugal, gravitational, rotation, etc. It would be like trying to absorb a Shinra Tensei, which is pure gravity, and that's also something that's not physical matter, but that already exists, just like water in the environment, which isn't made 100% of chakra either. Or it could also be that one way to stop this Rasengan is to absorb it before those spirals reach it. In that case, even using forces that are already part of nature, there could still be the excuse that the Rasengan is still made of chakra, and by absorbing it, the technique would be cancelled. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see which line of reasoning Kishimoto will follow, but these are the 2 possibilities. Now we really need your help by subscribing to this channel to help us bring more content like this for you all. Until next time, folks.